It was a quiet Wednesday morning in the small town of Millstone, where life rarely offered more than a peaceful routine. But that calm was shattered when Officer Rachel Hayes, a seasoned policewoman, received a call from an elderly woman claiming her dog wouldn't stop barking at the wall in her living room. Specifically, at a painting that he first, Rachel thought it was just another case of a scared pet reacting to shadows or odd smells. But when she arrived at Mrs. Langston's home, the tension in the air was almost suffocating. The painting in question was a large oil portrait of a man in a black suit, dusty, old, and frankly unremarkable. Yet the police K-9 unit, Rex, a retired German shepherd who was merely visiting the house with Rachel, began acting strangely that Rex's ears perked up, tail stiffened, and he let out a deep, guttural bark, not once, not twice, but relentlessly, while staring directly at the painting. He pawed the wooden floor, his gaze locked on the wall behind the portrait, as if trying to warn them. Rachel's instincts kicked in. "Something's off," she muttered. She carefully removed the painting from the wall. Behind it, instead of solid concrete or clean drywall, there were subtle, uneven lines, almost like someone had patched up a hole a long time ago. The paint was slightly different, just enough to catch a trained eye. Rachel called in for backup, and a team arrived within the hour. With Mrs. Langston watching anxiously from the hallway, the officers began to break through the wall. Then they hit metal. The hollow clank echoed through the room, freezing everyone in place. They cleared the drywall to reveal a large, rusted steel door, about 3 feet high. It had no handle, no hinges on the outside, just a heavy mechanical latch that had been sealed shut. "Get the bolt cutters," Rachel said. Within minutes, they cracked it open. A cloud of cold, musty air escaped from within, followed by the smell of damp wood and something else, something older. Everyone stepped back, unsure what they were about to uncover, as the door creaked open. A hidden chamber was revealed. Inside was a small, makeshift room. Dust floated through the flashlight beams like fog. There was a single wooden chair, a table with old books covered in cobwebs, and something that made everyone's heart stop: a child's teddy bear, lying next to a pair of tiny shoes. But that wasn't the most shocking part. Pinned on the far wall were dozens of photographs, old, black and white pictures of children. Some were smiling, some were not, and many were marked with red XS. Rachel turned pale. A sealed metal box sat in the corner. Inside were torn clothes, faded IDs, and letters addressed to children who had disappeared from neighboring towns decades ago. One file was labeled Langston, David, age 7. Rachel turned to the old woman, who had quietly entered the room, clutching her chest. "That was my brother," she whispered, eyes wide in disbelief. "They said he ran away in 1963. Suddenly, it all made sense. The Langston family had lived in that house for generations. Her parents were strict and secretive. The room had been sealed up for over 60 years, forgotten behind a painting no one ever touched. Tears welled her eyes as she picked up the faded teddy bear. Rachel radioed for the homicide department. What they had just uncovered wasn't just a cold case. It was a hidden nightmare buried within the walls of a peaceful home. Rex, the old K-9 who had barked at the painting, now stood silently at the threshold, as if he had done what he came to do. The town of Millstone would never be the same again, and as the chamber was sealed off and the investigation began, one truth remained. Sometimes dogs sense what we cannot see, and sometimes all it takes to uncover a forgotten crime is a bark at the right moment. Like the video, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Press the bell icon so that you can receive notifications of every new video.